Welcome to InfoRights channel. In this episode, I'm going to talk about social security of posted workers. If you remember, we have three different techniques for going over or overcoming the problem of different legislations in different member states. When you cross a border, internal border, you need to be sure that by crossing this border and leaving the territory of one member state on which one social security system is applicable and going to the territory of another member state, you do not lose your social protection. And for that, in the European Union, we have coordination of social security systems. If you remember our last episode about labor law, we use the technique of harmonization of law. So the starting point here is exactly the same as in the labor law. The member states retain their full autonomy on shaping social security systems. So you can have a system with very generous benefits, with very easy access to benefits, or you can have systems with low benefits and difficult to obtain. You can have systems with high social security contributions and systems with low social security contributions. So there will be lower indirect labor costs if you hire your employees in the country where the system is basically cheaper for the employer. And the member states do compete with each other with their social security systems. Yes, sometimes they intentionally attract businesses, especially labor-intensive businesses, to their territories because social security contributions are lower there. And there is nothing wrong about it. It is allowed. But for temporary provision of services, in the situation when a company needs to send their worker temporarily to another member state, you need to make sure that this person does not lose their social security entitlements. And here comes the coordination of social security. So, which legislation is applicable if you cross the internal border? Well, if you change your habitats, if you move from one country to another country, you find a new employer in another country, then of course, from day one, you will be subject to the legislation on social security of your new country. And yes, coordination of social security systems also deals with the situation how to retain the rights that you have already acquired in the previous system, and most of all, most importantly, how to accumulate your rights to social security for long-term benefits like old age pension if your professional career consists of a couple of years here, a couple of years there. It is very likely that in none of the member states you will make the minimum required period of insurance to be eligible for the pension. And that's the moment when coordination of social security systems come into force. And it requires the social security institution of the last place of employment before retirement to calculate the portion of the pension accordingly to the period of insurance in each of social security systems. As you can suspect, this is quite complicated. You need to get information from all those different social security institutions about the history of your contributions. The contributions will vary from one country to another, and on the basis of that and using the legislation of these particular member states, the last institution of employment will be obliged to calculate the pension. It's a patchwork pension on the basis of different legislations. This even gets more complicated because these different legislations, they have different entitlements rights. So you can imagine that there are countries where you can retire at the age of 60, but there are countries where you have to wait until 67. And if you've been working in these two countries where the pensionable age is 60 and the pensionable age is 67, when you finally reach the lowest pensionable age, 60, let's say, and be eligible for pension, you will only get the part of the pension that is proportionate to the time that you've worked in the country where the pensionable age is 60. For your pension from the country where the pensionable age is 67, you will have to wait for another 7 years. I hope this is complicated enough to understand that for a person who does not leave their country forever to find a new job, but a person who is only temporarily posted by their employer to another member state. And that's a person, insured person, of whom we know for sure that after completing the job, they will come back to the sending member state. It really makes no sense to change the applicable legislation for Social Security. It will be so complicated to calculate their benefits, not only for long-term, but for short-term benefits like sickness benefit or maternity benefit. You will have to probably have some waiting period. So the basic principle of the coordination of various Social Security systems is do not change Social Security system which is applicable to the worker who is temporarily posted to another member state. And for posted workers, it is very important to continue to be subject of the legislation of the sending member state. So, whenever a worker is temporarily posted by his or her employer to another member state, and he does the job for an employer who stayed home, and we know that this person is going to return after completing the job, for the entire duration of the posting, he or she remains subject to the legislation of the sending member state. Unless, and there are two conditions, the posting period exceeds 24 months. I mean, after 2 years of posting, yes, it is time to change the legislation to the legislation of the receiving member state. Or, unless this person is posted in order to replace another posted worker, especially the one to whom this 24-month period is about to expire or has already expired. So the last provision is really only there in order to prevent the evasion of the 24 months principle. Let's sum up. If you're a posted worker, by and large, you will continue to be subject to the same legislation of Social Security that you have been before being posted, provided that you have been subject to that legislation at least for 1 month before being posted, and provided that your employer is running a substantial part of activity in the sending member state, and provided that you are not exceeding 24 months period of posting, and provided that you are not substituting another posted worker, and that this is not the only purpose of your assignment. Stay tuned for more information about Social Security coordination in next episodes. This is your InfoRights channel.